Hoi hoi folks, good morning, good afternoon and good evening wherever you are in the world. My name's Sean, aka Uncle Frogface, and welcome to today's video. If you're new here, then welcome. If you're not new, then welcome back. So I'm actually filming this the day that it's going out, fingers crossed, and all the editing goes well at least. It's been so busy recently, but I was out shopping, and as I do, I'm a bit of a bargain hunter, and I was having a look around. I just happened to be in Hobbycraft, the big arts and crafts shop in the UK, and I've come across a tool that I've wanted, that I've never tried before, so I thought, why not try it for the first time with you guys? So it's this. It is a wood burning tool. So I've never used one of these, but the idea of creating art with fire and just burning the world down. I'm not a pyromaniac, by the way, despite what my family might say. I really like the idea of this. So I actually could use this because as some of you know, I also have a wand shop and I do some woodwork, so this is just an extra tool for my arsenal for that as well. But I thought we could have a little bit of an unboxing, check out what's inside, and then do some tests. I've got some scrap wood just to do some tests on from my workshop, and then I also have down here, this is a wooden canvas painting board thing, so thought we could do some pyrography on there as well. So let's camera around and we'll get stuck straight into it. Yes, here we go. So some of the sellotape at the top has already come off this. I'm just going to start unpeeling whilst I do this. But yeah, I've got a few things with me today, so actually I might just cut this. I have, as I said, I've got that wooden canvas. I've got a couple of bits of wood, so I'm just going to test out the nibs on this. And then I've also got this as well. It's just a ceramic plate. It's heat proof, just so that I can put any bits on there, because well, I've never tried pyrography before, but I have friends that have, and I've been given a couple of tips. For instance, don't touch the hot bit. That's a really good tip. Read the instructions, which I'm always loath to do, but okay, we've got a few bits in here. What's that down there? You're the stand, I guess. So this kit comes with, as it says nicely on here, the pyrography pen itself, some different shaped nibs, and a stand, which is not as flimsy as it first looks. So it's a little spring loaded mechanism here, and you lift it up and it catches into place. That's nice and secure. And then I'm guessing, yeah, that just sits on there. Right, okay, I'm not going to plug this in yet. I'm actually going to read instructions, I know. So important, warning, warranty, all of those are important things. Okay, so we have some important things in there. For instance, this heats up very hot, very hot, and also very quickly. So I know some wood burners, pyrography pens, are variable in their temperature. It doesn't appear like this one is, so I'm not sure that does anything down there. So from what I gather, this is kind of the standard tip, which actually looks like it's been dinked on the end there. And then these ones screw on to that, so you can see there's a thread on there. And if I can get this little plastic bag open, there we go, and tip these out. Thank you. Right, so we've got this one and that. Let's have a look. Yeah, that screws quite simply onto there. That's quite a nice kind of flat. It's almost like a skew chisel there. And if you look very close, I'm not sure how well you're going to be able to see this, but the actual angle of the blade itself really is designed for a right-handed user. So for kind of sweeping this way, if you're sweeping that way, you're getting very minimal contact. Just something I've noticed. We've got that one there. We've got a kind of the skew chisely type one. We've got this, which is a very flat, broad one. It kind of comes to a V point like that. There we are. We've then got this one, which kind of reminds me of lipstick. So it's a round circular barrel, and that's been cut at an angle, looks like about 45 degrees. And then we've got these two, which are both very similar. They're like points. There we are, one's longer, one's shorter. The tips might be slightly different. I think this one's, the longer one is slightly thicker than that one, which, okay, doesn't make sense to my brain, but I kind of understand it. And that's everything that's in here. So I'm going to uncurl this. So it says in the instructions that this gets to heat very quickly, as in just a few minutes. So I'm not going to plug it in yet, but one thing I am going to do is unflex the cable. So this is something I learned as a theatre tech. So everywhere where it's been packaged and it's bent means that cable's already going to be flexing in that way. So I'm going to spend a few minutes going through and just flexing the cable and wiggling it around at all of these points, and then it should make it nice and straight and a little bit looser as well and easier to use. So we'll come back when I've done all of that. Okay, so I've flexed all of the cable and it's still pretty stiff. I know that will get looser over time, but for right now it's quite stiff. So I've moved my plate over here because actually I think I'm going to be resting the tool on the plate like this, with the end very clear and away from the table. Right now, with the cable and the stand the way it is, I'm just not confident that that's going to hold properly. It might do, but I'm just not confident. We'll give it a try as we're going. What I'm going to do now, I also have these as well, so just a pair of grips that I had, because I want to go through and try all of these nibs, and obviously I don't want to be touching hot nibs after I've tried it out. So I've got this literally just so that I can unscrew these one by one after I've tested them out, and I'm going to pop them onto the plate over here. Obviously you don't need to do that right now, but yeah, so you get the idea, just so that I can try out all of the nibs. So I'm going to try out this plain one first, and then go through and just make some marks with each of these to see what they can do. So I'm going to go kind of on the edge, see what fine lines I can get, what thick lines I can get, what shading I can get with these as well. So might be a bit of a time lapse now whilst I go through and try all of these. Right, okay, so let's go through the marks first. So we've got here from left to right the same as they are here. So we've got the first kind of standard tip first, then we've got that skew chisely one, then the one that's cut at a kind of V groove at the top, the lipstick one, and then we've got the two pointy ones. So you can see actually the marks they make, they are all different. So you could definitely get some different effects on there, and this is just a piece of pine. So interesting in kind of application. However, there is something I need to point out. So this is a piece of scrap that I have off to the side, and this was just me testing to see when the tips were up to temperature. So the instructions say gets hot in 2 to 3 minutes, or 3 to 4, whatever it was, just a few minutes, and that's true. It does get hot. However, it does not get to burning temperature, so you're not able to do pyrography actually for quite a while. It took about 20 minutes for the tip to heat up to a point where I could make these marks. And then, of course, because it's brass, when you put a new section on, that piece of brass also has to heat up, and it's using the heat of the original nib underneath. So we have to wait for that to heat up. Each nib took 10 to 15 minutes to get to anywhere close to a heat that could make a mark. And you can see some of these are lighter than the others, and that's just because I got bored waiting. However, with brass, it does go through kind of a grading of colour. So as brass heats up, it changes colour. So it starts off normal brass colour, then it goes quite a bright goldy straw colour, then it goes into kind of purples and blues, and eventually you can see this steel is very, very hot, and it looks like steel. It's silver. I'm not sure how well you can see it. I'm keeping my hand very far away from it because it is still very hot, but you can at least see the colour of that. It no longer looks like brass. So I think I have to really consider what I'm going to do, because I have, as I say, I've got this like £4 for this. It's quite a large canvas. It's 11 by 14 inches. Just whack the microphone then. Yeah, it's quite a large canvas. It's 11 by 14 inches, and I feel like whatever I do on here is going to take quite a while to actually create, whilst I'm waiting for the nibs to heat up. So I'm going to have to design something and then think about order of operation, which tools, which nibs am I going to use the most, which ones am I not going to use at all, and then how am I going to go through them. So it's nearly midday. This swatching has taken me an hour because of waiting for nibs to heat up in between. So that's why I'm saying I want to be more cost effective with my time, and think about what I can do. I may end up just using the standard nib or just one of these bits. Another thing to note is they do, once you take them off the soldering iron, they do cool down very quickly. This one not so much. You can actually see, well, the screw on here, you can see it's actually got like a blue colour from the heat as well. So fascinating. I love kind of the metallurgy and the way it changes colour. That's a prop maker in me. So right, I have got to go to the dentist, so I'm going to go and do that now, and whilst I do that I will think about what I'm going to do on the canvas, or whether I can find something a little bit smaller. But yeah, I'll be back to you once I'm back from the dentist. See you soon. Ahoy hoy, I am back from the dentist, and glad to say I have all of my teeth remaining, and I carry on my 39-year streak of no cavities, no fillings, nothing. So very, very happy with that. I've got back and I have sketched out what I would like to do on this canvas. So some of you might know Hogwarts Legacy is being released today, on pre-release anyway. It's a game that I really want to play, but I just don't have the time at the moment, so I'll be getting it in the future. So to commemorate that, I have decided to burn the Dark Mark. I mean, bear in mind I am a wand maker as well, and yeah, it's naturally a Slytherin, so I thought this would be a good thing to test this out on, because it's got a good mix of line work and shading as well, and there's a slight variation on it, so it is more of my style. And I'm going to plug this in, and I'm going to give it a good 20 minutes, I think, at least, to heat up, and then I will start creating this piece of Wizarding World inspired artwork using this pyrography pen. Okay, so this is where we are so far. This is by no means a quick process, but I'm learning a lot by doing something so big. I think if I'd done something small, probably would have had to do it multiple times to learn what I'm learning, but I'm having a lot of fun. So I'm going to make myself a fresh cup of tea, and then I'm going to get on to doing some more kind of detail work and some shading, I think. Okay, we are finished, and blimey, my hand is killing me. Right, let's show you the final piece. I'll show you some proper shots at the end as well, but there we go. That is the dark mark in pyrography. Not bad for my first time creating art with fire, I think. I actually really enjoyed this. I have to say though, oh, let me just pick this up. There we go. I have to say, this is cooling down. It's a very fun art, a very fun craft, creating art on wood with heat. There is a reason I think that this was so cheap. It's difficult to use. I've seen some other professional pyrography machines that are amazing. They use wires instead of kind of nibs like this. This is essentially a glorified soldering iron. In fact, I probably could have used the soldering iron that I have in my garage. But yeah, it just means that it takes a little bit more patience, it takes a little bit more pressure, I think, which is obviously why my finger is hurting so much. I've been pushing down on it. It does heat up a lot, but you know, nowhere near anywhere that's going to burn you while you're holding it down here. But yeah, it overall, really fun craft to try, and I now have a tool that I will be using alongside other tools whilst I'm making wands. The link for the wand shop is down below, by the way, and my art Etsy shop, both there. Anyway, enough self-promotion. But yes, I think if you are going to try this, it might be worth investing in something a little bit more expensive than this £10 one from Hobbycraft, or whatever the equivalent is where you are. But if you're just trying and you want to have a bit of a play and see whether it's for you, then absolutely go ahead. Wow. I now need to try and edit this and get this on YouTube in the next hour and 20 minutes. So as always, I really hope you've enjoyed today's video, and until next time, goodbye.